On November 9th, 2000, a young development studio in Bellevue, Washington by the name of Valve released their first multiplayer game. The game was called Counter-Strike, a competitively oriented tactical first-person shooter that saw two teams of 5 players competing against each other on a virtual battlefield. One team plays a group of terrorists, either holding hostages or attempting to plant a C4 bomb in a specific location. The other team fills the shoes of an elite counter-terrorist unit, either trying to free the hostages from the terrorists' grasp or prevent them from planting the bomb in the first place. Now, Valve actually wasn't responsible for the creation of this game. Originally, Counter-Strike was a modding project by a small passionate group of developers led by Min Lee, also known as Gooseman, and Jess Cliff. The mod had been in development for a little over a year before Valve noticed their efforts and officially partnered with Lee and Cliff at the turn of the millennium. The game would receive multiple post-launch updates until finally culminating in version 1.6, releasing in 2003, which would also mark the game's debut on Valve's brand new video game distribution platform, Steam. And with its Steam release, Counter-Strike 1.6 started to take over the digital world like a tsunami. Together with Unreal Tournament 2003, 1.6 was the multiplayer game to play, and fascinated millions of players all around the world. The game was so popular that the Steam servers ran out of bandwidth during the beta test sign-up process, not even the main release of the game. Counter-Strike was everywhere. It connected countless people all over the world and was a vital part in propelling online gaming to the heights that it would eventually reach in the decades to come. Almost exactly 25 years later, on November 7th, 2025, I stumbled across a post on Blue Sky from Rogue magazine. The post read, "The ultra-realistic graphic and pure combat of It Takes a War have to be experienced to be believed." Accompanying the post was one of their articles, written by Jeffrey Parkin, with a very strange headline. It Takes a War review that is not a review of It Takes a War. It's a pretty short read, roughly 2 to 3 minutes, and structured like any game review article ever. But once I actually started reading, I noticed that the statements inside the article were downright bewildering, to say the least. The Steam page for It Takes a War boasts of its ultra-realism, stunning graphics, visceral tactical action, and revolutionary voice chat feature. It Takes a War features all of these things. It Takes a War has none of these things. The combat in It Takes a War is just bad. The combat in It Takes a War is profoundly human. It Takes a War is a shitty, repetitive, unsatisfying co-op FPS with bad graphics. It Takes a War is a deeply touching, mind-bending, heart-wrenching narrative. It is both of these things. Needless to say, my curiosity has been piqued. Someone doesn't write stuff like this without a reason, especially when the game he's talking about looks like one of those awful, barely functional asset flips you would find on dingy game websites back in the day. Something is up here. I simply have to investigate.
Graphics, guns, glory. Get ready to drop into a devastating real depiction of the battlefield as you and your team take on a relentless foe. It Takes a War presents a new vision for the team-based tactical shooter genre.
These are the words you're greeted with upon going to the game's Steam page, and this narrative basically repeats itself once you start reading the About section as well. Constant glazing of the game's incredible combat, stunning visuals, and the revolutionary voice chat feature, allowing you to talk to other people in your lobby. Like I already mentioned, the screenshots do not do the game any favors. It looks completely horrendous. The graphics look dated even compared to the games from the early 2000s that It Takes a War is obviously trying to imitate. The HUD is straight up copied from 1.6, and the text is written very strangely, sounding like a poorly translated sentence from another language almost. At the time of me finding this game, it had no more than 30 reviews, almost all of which were positive. But I wanted to stay completely blind, so I read none of them and just bought the game. I mean, it's $5. So the investment isn't necessarily a big one. One quick download later and here we are. The menu is incredibly sterile and is once again a blatant copy of Counter-Strike 1.6's menu, but somehow even worse. There is no background audio, no music, or any ambient sounds ever. Sans a few bleeps and bloops when you interact with the menu options. You may notice that the play with friends option is grayed out, and once you hover over it, the game tells you that you need to finish at least one match in order to unlock this feature. Weird, but understandable, I guess. It's far from the only game to have a restriction like this. So, I guess there's nothing else to do, settings all look good. Let's find the game, shall we? Here is the self-proclaimed revolutionary voice chat feature. It appears that the game has had quite a large problem with spammers, so voice and text chat is disabled for now. However, here's a feature that is actually really damn cool. Whenever you speak, your sentences are automatically broadcast into the text chat via a voice-to-text function, or VTT for short. And this is shockingly accurate too. Even more complex words or slurred phrases are effortlessly detected. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Alright, enough mic testing for now. Let's go. Looks like we found the game. The game mode is Team Deathmatch, on a map simply called Filth, a very apt name given the game's visual presentation. You're then prompted to choose a class. There are 3 in total, with the only differentiation being the weapon you can start the match with, so the choice is pretty damn inconsequential. Once you've picked your class, you're thrust into the pregame lobby, and almost immediately you can hear people talking in chat.
Hello?
Is the call down?
Just use this.
I'm sure everyone will love hearing all our conversations.
Does it matter? It's just 2 other randos. One of them doesn't even have chat unlocked.
Yeah, it's fine.
There are 5 people we can hear talking in the lobby. Brian, no special nickname here, just Brian. Colch, Ron, a very dumb play on his actual name, Aaron. Conquistador, and finally, So33, or Sophie as I'm gonna assume. We can all guess that these people know each other pretty well, seeing how they all refer to each other by their actual real names. The only exception to this is Sophie, who is not part of their group and almost immediately gets a weird remark from Aaron.
Hey.
Another girl gamer.
What the
Oh my
fuck?
god, great humor as always, Aaron.
You're so funny.
The awkward silence afterwards really does say more than anything I could write in the script now, does it? Now that we've experienced the revolutionary voice chat, and the game finally starts, let's take a look at the self-proclaimed relentlessly visceral combat, and...
Yeah.
Woo!
My bad, sorry.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're thinking right now, and you're correct. This game is fucking awful. Movement is extremely rigid and often buggy. The gunplay is horrendous, with some of the worst recoil and hit feedback I've ever experienced in any FPS game. And the sound design barely exists, making the game feel vapid and, above all else, incredibly empty. And I know I mentioned this before, but I think now you can see how horrible this game actually looks. Textures are low quality and scaled up way past their original resolution, making it a pixelated mess. Animations are so bad that even my shitty attempt at animating an AK from like a year ago would be better than this. And there are 0 light sources placed around the map, so it all looks like one big mess of textures, blocks, and assets. This kind of game would not even pass for a first prototype in the first semester of game design school. This game is front to back a complete and utter disaster. But whatever. Let's just keep playing and listen to what the other poor souls who have decided to play this game today are talking about.
Are you coming next Saturday, Aaron?
DK.
What?
Depends if I can get work off.
What's Saturday?
No, we're having a sesh.
Oh, right.
It was assumed you would not want to come.
Yeah, no. Fair.
Yep, just as awkward as I thought it was gonna be. The three guys are dominating the voice call while the two women are barely speaking up, and whenever they do speak, it's incredibly quiet. Honestly though, after Aaron made himself look like the biggest dickhead on the planet, I am not even remotely surprised by this. But I don't think I'm the only one here who is starting to feel like something about this feels off. The game doesn't quite feel right. And it doesn't take much longer until round 4 starts, where that suspicion is being validated.
You're quite bad.
It genuinely feels like we're playing against bots.
Believe me, I am used to failing.
Are they screaming? A weird addition, but okay.
The enemy players suddenly start screaming whenever you shoot at them. And not like normal screaming either, it's strangely loud. Brian remarks on the strange screaming as well, but nobody actually seems to be paying much attention to it at all. Instead, they are way more focused on arguing with each other about their favorite types of chips and whether or not it's okay to hate cream soda.
What's everyone's favorite type of crisps?
What?
Smoky bacon wheat crunchies.
Good choice.
I'm a fan of Snacktastic.
I like Walker's roast potato.
Those are terrible.
Well, alright, big man. What are yours then?
I don't know. Kettle chips or something.
Bit Tory.
Well, to be fair, strong cocktail go kind of hard too.
Do you know what's better than crisp?
What?
Cracking open a cold one.
Oh, let's go!
A nice cold cream soda.
I hate cream soda.
I fucking love cream soda, I can't lie. Me and Brian are brothers in arms on that one.
It's dreadful.
Always such a downer.
Elle said she hated it too.
Alright, round 7. This is starting to get very repetitive. What?
Explosions.
What are you doing up there? Work, I hope. Just talking to my friends, Mum.
Ah, the screaming parents in the background of a person playing video games. A true classic in the world of online gaming, but at least her friends are there to support her through it. Oh, also, why the fuck is there a balloon attached to the muzzle of my weapon? Fucking weird as hell, but okay, maybe it's just some funny event that can randomly happen. The game doesn't really have any kind of tutorial or online guide made about it, so this could just be intended. Let's just forget about it and keep playing.
Does anyone know if David Mack still has that wee Jack Russell Terrier?
I think he does, yeah.
It's actually a Patterdale Terrier he has.
Does it matter?
So pedantic, mate.
Just a different type of dog, innit?
But like, why do you even need to bring it up? You know what you meant.
I was just saying.
Okay, enough beating around the bush. I think you've all realized by now that this game is not what it seems. And this moment right here is my signal to you that if you're intrigued by what you have seen just now, you should pause this video, click the first link in the description, buy It Takes a War, and play it for yourself. Beyond this point, I will be spoiling the entire game. All of the best and most impactful parts that are best experienced blind. The game is $5 and takes 45 minutes or maybe an hour if you're slow to get through. Anyone who has the cash, time, and motivation to spare should click off now, play the game, and come back to this point once you're done. If you want to experience the game through me and me alone, just stay and wait a few seconds while the others go make their choice. Alright, now we should all be on the same page. This moment right here makes the true nature of this game very clear. We are not actually in a multiplayer match. It Takes a War is not just a shitty, poorly made Counter-Strike clone designed to trick players into buying an asset flip. There is a rabbit hole here that we need to explore, and the only way to do that is to dive deeper into it. So let's do that, shall we? You might have noticed that the vibes within the lobby have gotten a bit more serious. The awkward yet lighthearted chatter of the previous rounds has been replaced with an almost hostile atmosphere, all centered around one specific person, Coach, or Colin. All of his attempts at jokes are being met with rolled eyes and annoyed responses. He's mentioned that he wanted to hang out with his friends multiple times, yet for some reason he keeps being brushed off by them. And especially in this conversation, people seem to have had enough of him already.
I was just saying.
To be fair, it was a classic annoying well actually moment.
Sorry, Jesus. Why am I getting attacked by the rando as well?
You're the one who had to correct me.
I didn't mean anything bad by it.
Sure.
And it doesn't take much longer to realize that not just the other team members are tired of Colin, but also the game itself seems to be taunting him.
What's that behind us?
Is that Colin's view?
What the fuck? How is that fair?
Maybe they added new map events or something.
It even looks a bit like my desk.
It does, I bet. I don't know how we're running.
Despite Colin playing like shit.
I'm trying my best.
You're playing stupidly, we can all see it on the screen even.
Or am I?
Yeah, you are.
Maybe a little harsh.
The boy will never learn otherwise.
Once again, the behavior of the others is incredibly strange. No matter what kind of weird shit is happening in the game, all they can seem to focus on is continuing to pick on Colin for everything he does. Even when Sophie chimes in, trying to stand up for him, she gets told that apparently this kind of behavior is necessary.
I feel like you guys take games too seriously sometimes.
No, it's just, if we're spending time to play them,
If
it's
we're
like...
spending time to play them, then it's a bit fucked just losing every time because of the way you're playing.
It's just a bit annoying.
Right.
It's just a game, but also you don't need to like throw. I lose enough IRL, you know?
I'm not throwing.
Yeah.
And just like that, the arguing continues. But starting with round 12, things start to get even weirder than before.
It's just a bit annoying.
You just said that, Aaron?
I didn't say anything. Definitely did, I saw your name pop up. You didn't, but okay.
I'm trying my best.
At what? Colin?
What?
You're trying your best. At what?
Don't know what you mean.
You just said you're trying your best.
No, I didn't.
What's going on here?
The game's voice chat suddenly starts breaking down, seemingly playing back messages from earlier and subsequently confusing everyone. The group once again devolves into arguing until...
Here. Can you guys stop pissing about?
I'm not.
Hello, can you hear me?
Who was that?
I'm not sure.
I think it was purple? I thought they can't speak yet though.
Maybe just a glitch.
I suddenly start talking. You can see in the footage that this caught me completely off guard, even though this is not my first time playing and I knew this was coming. You can even see me trying to access the chat, but the game still tells me it's locked and I gotta finish my first match to gain access to it. The fake Steam message from earlier was cool, sure, but this moment right here is one of the first truly standout scares that this game has to offer. And in my opinion, it is incredibly well executed. It comes so completely out of nowhere and happens in such a busy moment of conversation that suddenly hearing yourself speak even though you didn't say anything is really, really creepy. But especially so because I said that exact same sentence in the mic test prior to starting the game. This means that the game has the ability to not just record your gameplay, which we've seen on the giant screen in the sky, but also has access to your microphone. The group is equally as confused as I am, but once again brushes it off almost immediately.
Aaron, you're the most pathetic person I've ever met.
That's
what?
quite harsh.
What was?
What you just said.
Stop being annoying.
I didn't do anything.
Colin, you know we've never liked you, right?
Jesus.
The strange phantom voices continue and have now turned from simple playbacks of earlier phrases into full-blown verbal attacks towards other people. Once again, Colin is the main target, but also Sophie receives a pretty harsh comment from Aaron, even raising his voice against her.
I didn't say anything either, Wangstein.
You're literally solo queuing. Get some friends.
Now Aaron's being the harsh one.
Is there something wrong with my connection?
You're right. Just focus on the game. You guys are being too annoying.
The group is visibly derailing before our own eyes, and we're still unable to actually communicate with any of them directly. Round 14 begins, and Brian makes an interesting observation.
I think Aaron DC'd.
He'll join back.
Guys, what's going on?
You DC'd, I think.
Where am I?
At home, I assume.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
What's going on? I can't see him.
Did he DC again?
Do you think he's okay?
He didn't sound okay.
Aaron disconnected, but somehow can still be heard speaking in voice chat, which by all means should be impossible. Suddenly, a massive object in the sky can be seen violently shaking and seemingly coming closer, almost like a meteor crashing down into the level. But yet again, nobody seems to notice or care that it's even there. Despite the multiple weird occurrences and strange things that have happened in this game, nobody in the group seems to actually be alarmed by any of this. The object can be seen colliding with the level, the round ends, and this is where the game starts to completely break down. Round 15 begins, and I find myself completely alone. The players that I just heard a few seconds ago have seemingly all vanished, even though upon checking the scoreboard, everyone still seems to be in the lobby. The timer and the enemy counter all show question marks, and the entire level is eerily quiet, almost liminal in its feeling. Suddenly, Aaron can be heard gasping, noticeably afraid. The game glitches, and a plain white door appears right next to spawn. The room is extremely messy. Clothes everywhere, the walls are covered in posters haphazardly put up with simple tape. A loud buzzing noise can be heard, likely coming from outside, as well as a faint noise that sounds almost like a dog barking. The desk is equally messy, with barely enough space to comfortably play video games on. We can see that the person who owns this room has just loaded up the same game we've been playing this whole time. The connections should be clear by now. This is Aaron's room, or at least a recreation of it within the game's engine. As soon as the realization hits, Aaron begins to talk.
Guys, can I join back? Please. Did you guys see that?
The thing in the game.
The weird door stuff.
What was that?
It was like something took me away.
Took you away.
Aaron's going off on one.
No, genuinely, I feel a bit sick.
Have you started?
It turns out that it's not just us who saw what happened. Everyone else saw it too. Seeing his own personal living space recreated in a game, Aaron is noticeably disturbed and starts to become panicked. His friends try to lighten the mood by joking around again, but Aaron insists that he's being serious. And soon we realize that the game is doing more than just showing weird things on screen.
We can stop if you want. Let's go back to CS or something.
I'm trying. I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
It's like I want to quit, but my body won't let me.
Just Alt F4, you silly sausage.
Well, why don't you?
Okay, I will.
I can't quit either.
I'm trying.
It's like I'm glued to my chair.
This is really freaking me out. You guys weren't in there.
The game has us trapped. You can see me pausing the footage here. It's because I'm trying to hit Alt F4 and exit the game forcefully. But even that doesn't work. When I first played this, I didn't want to risk it because I was so enthralled by the experience, but even now, realizing the game itself is blocking you from leaving gives this scene a whole new level of creepiness. Alt F4 is the main way that you exit programs forcefully, and not even that is working. Just like Aaron and the others, you too are trapped here. The random DM from the soldier I got earlier wasn't just some baseless attempt at a cheap scare. It was an actual warning that if we proceed too far, there will be no way out. But it's too late for second guesses now. We're too deep in the rabbit hole to turn back. What does this game want from us? The round continues as normal until one of the enemies throws a smoke grenade and suddenly everyone is gone again. The counters are glitching out. All the enemies that were just there have disappeared, and the game went back to that awful, almost deafening silence. One interesting detail to note, however, is that Sophie's still communicating, this time via text chat only. It appears that her not being from the main group gives her a different window into what's happening. Maybe even the same window that we're looking through, seeing how both us and Sophie are the only randoms. After getting our bearings, we round the corner and once again find the white door. I approach it, expecting another transportation, and sure enough, the room we find ourselves in this time is a lot tidier than the prior one, but the desk is equally messy. This time, however, instead of it being dirty dinner plates or other junk, it's instead covered in books, papers, and folders. Whoever lives here is in school and takes it very seriously. Instead of the decked out gaming PC from earlier, this person plays on a tiny laptop, most likely the one that they normally use for schoolwork. The bookshelf next to the desk contains all manner of different literature, all of them likely for study, judging from the copy of 1984 that I think everyone has had to read at least once in school. On the wall are a few world maps, as well as a corkboard with tons of sticky notes, all referring to tasks that have to be done. Academic English writing, a geography test, math assignments, as well as a presentation against bullying. Extremely ironic, given the previous conversations we've had to endure. All of a sudden, we can hear a sound that almost sounds like footsteps. But not exactly. It's actually sticky notes that are starting to appear all over the room. All of them containing the same message. Remember to do your work. Try to shoot these notes and...
Oh, you better do your work. Oh, answer me. Get down here.
What the fuck was that?
It was your room this time, Al.
It was a bit less real than before.
Harsh in there.
Fuck off, Randall.
Round 18 starts, and we can hear our familiar voices again. Elle seems to be less perturbed by the strange occurrences than Erin was, but given her extremely aggressive responses to Sophie, she might be bottling it up. Then, Colin makes a very interesting remark.
I thought you said you hated cream soda.
What?
Didn't you say you hate cream soda?
I do.
But there were loads of empty cans of it in that bin.
Are you kidding me right now, Colin?
I just thought it was weird.
They weren't mine.
Ah, fair. Who was drinking cream soda then?
They were Brian and Aaron's from the other week. We didn't have time to put them in the bin, so I just put them in my bag and then binned them at home.
Ah. What were you guys up to?
We were at the beach.
Where was my invite?
It was a bit of a spur of the moment thing. You were busy, I'm pretty sure.
Don't think so.
can we please focus on the game and get it over with sooner?
Yeah, don't worry, I was just kidding.
Once again, the group starts to belittle him. Colin is clearly hurt by this and is struggling more and more to keep his cool. The next round begins, and Sophie finally tries to address all the weird shit that's been happening to all of us.
Why are you so sure the game ending will stop the weirdness?
Because if the weird hypnotization stuff is from the game being over will stop it.
I don't think it's hypnotization.
The round continues as normal, but we find out soon that Aaron isn't doing so hot.
Aaron, you're breathing directly into your microphone.
Sure, sorry.
Got you, huh? The game once again taunts us with a pretty damn innovative scare, and we find ourselves in a pitch black room. Turn around and there it is again. That same white door that's been the gateway to all the other rooms. The first one was Aaron's, the second one Ellie's, and so this next one is likely going to be Brian's room. And to probably no one's surprise at all, it is. Brian's room is by far the saddest one we've seen so far. A dreary grey box with almost nothing colorful or noteworthy about it. Aaron's room was dirty and messy, but full of character and personality. Posters on the wall, vinyls peeking out of a box, and even a whole ass record player next to him on his setup. This man loves music and is proud to show it off. Ellie's room, meanwhile, is clean and entirely focused on work, very likely due to the pressure from her insane mother. But even so, bits and pieces of her interests shine through, like the different world maps or the poster of space above her bookshelf. Ellie loves to gain knowledge and learn new things, and once again, she proudly presents that in the way she has her room set up. By contrast, Brian's room presents nothing. Besides the chomp 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 poster that all three of them share, this room is incredibly depressing and void of anything fun. The furniture is old, and the space he lives in is tiny. His bed has an incredibly uncomfortable metal frame and is barely big enough to fit an adult. A giant rat is sitting on the floor, which could either be his pet or, God forbid, a pest he hasn't taken care of yet. Much like Elle, he plays on an old laptop, somehow even more ancient looking than the one Elle was using. He sits on a wooden chair, likely slumped over his laptop, which is 100% gonna ruin his posture in the long run. Brian's room is more akin to a prison cell than an actual living space. But he obviously doesn't care about his living conditions, and seemingly even his own well-being at all. All he cares about is validation from the people he plays games with.
What a shot.
Okay, that was pretty good, I can't lie.
It feels so good to actually win sometimes.
Absolutely.
As soon as the next round starts, the conversation about Brian's room is quickly cut short by Colin, who has decided to finally speak up about how he's been feeling.
It really does.
Brian, your room was pretty dire. Is that how you're living?
That was yesterday, wasn't it?
Colin, not now.
It was though, wasn't it?
So what?
You were playing without me.
Are we not allowed to play games without you?
No, obviously. It's just it would have been nice to have been invited.
Does it really matter that much?
Yeah, but when I asked if you guys were up to anything yesterday, and you didn't even mention it.
We were just playing a few casual matches. It was nothing.
Well, it feels like something to me.
Colin, we're allowed to play a game without you. Christ!
It just feels shitty when you deliberately play just you guys.
Well, it wasn't deliberate.
But it was though. It always is because it keeps happening.
Oh, and I wonder why we'd do that.
What?
You're an annoying prick sometimes, to be honest.
Jesus. Okay.
Okay, settle down. Aaron's been a bit harsh there.
Just a bit.
Listen, We were already playing when you asked, and we just missed the message. It doesn't mean we don't like you, so don't take everything so personally.
No, it just means you don't bother to think of me.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Come on.
No, so what are you saying then? Even without me messaging, you still could have asked.
Nothing. I'm just telling you how it actually is.
I get this feeling a lot, you know? And it hurts sometimes.
Well, I'm sorry that's the case, but you feeling like that isn't our fault.
Whatever.
Oh yeah, whatever.
This conversation is one that a lot of people can probably empathize with. Colin is the outcast, the weird guy of the friend group who nobody really likes, but also nobody has the heart to actually tell him that. Constantly stringing them along and barely giving them the recognition that they so desperately desire, even if they might be a bit weird and different from everyone else. And even after Colin somehow manages to actually leave the game, the shit talking from his friends just continues on.
He's left, I think. I don't know how.
You guys are being quite harsh.
Who gives a shit?
Believe me, if you'd spent more time with him, you'd understand he is incredibly clingy.
I guess I can see that a bit.
I mean, you can see how his first reaction to literally everything is to assume that we did it to hurt him.
The remaining group members are still trying to figure out what could be the cause for the game being the way that it is, but it doesn't actually go anywhere. Just vague ideas and obviously ridiculous theories are all that they can come up with.
Can you guys leave the game yet?
Nah, I'm still feeling stuck.
I guess at least Colin leaving shows it's possible. That other stuff was so weird though. I guess it records your conversations?
But that wasn't from the in-game chat.
Yeah, but maybe it still has access to your mic or something.
And how would it know what your room looks like?
But suddenly, Sophie notices something that honestly I didn't even notice myself when playing around myself.
Where's the other team?
Probably just hiding.
But before we can even think about that question, a weird name starts popping up in the kill feed.
Is that Colin?
What the fuck?
We find ourselves in a hallway of what looks like to be a house, entirely coded in black and white. It's hard to make things out from this perspective, but we are likely looking at the living room of the house. A large bookshelf is up against the wall next to what seems to be a kitchen, judging from the tiles on the floor. The room on the right side is open and shows a tidy, well-furnished living space. I'll admit, the desk does leave a little bit to be desired, but even stranger is the monitor, which is displaying some sort of labyrinth structure on it. The room itself is very clean and quite spacious. The bed is quite large, positioned right across from a nice TV, and we can also see a guitar or a guitar-shaped instrument leaning against it. But once we look deeper into the room, things are starting to become more concerning. This is indeed Colin's room. Entering the main part of the house shows us a really nice and wonderfully furnished place. A modern open kitchen situated right across from a more Art Deco modernistic style living room, complete with plants, tons of bookshelves, a small work corner, and floating shelves to store all kinds of things on. This place is easily the best and the prettiest out of all of the ones that we've seen so far, but I think it's pretty obvious that that is not the point here. Outside, we find the labyrinth from Colin's monitor. An endless black and white maze with no exit. The profiles of his friends are hung up on the walls, all showing that they've been inactive from anywhere between 3 minutes and 9 decades. This is what Colin goes through every single day. This labyrinth is a representation of how he views his own life, a dark and sorrowful existence, where simply trying to connect with the people he cares about feels impossible, navigating a social maze of rejection and disinterest. Sophie tries to speak and even reason with Colin, but he doesn't want to hear it.
What's going on?
They don't care.
You're hurting them.
Maybe they deserve it.
They don't.
They do.
Suddenly, the others chime in.
And what about you, huh?
Brian, I wouldn't.
No, I want to say this. I try to stop things getting confrontational, but here, you're annoying sometimes, Colin. Sorry, but you are.
Yeah, I get it.
You correct people on so many needless things. You don't take the games we play seriously when we want to, and you always assume we're out to get you.
Yeah, I said I get it.
So is it really that surprising sometimes we hang out just us three? It's not that we don't like you. Fuck, I really don't have that much of a problem with you at all. But we're allowed to do things without your permission, aren't we?
Of course, it's my fault for being hurt.
That's not what I fucking said.
I'd rather you just told me, rather than avoiding confrontation all the time.
That's literally what he's doing right now.
When it's already too late.
You're thinking so black and white. Being thoughtless doesn't mean they were trying to hurt you.
All I wanted to do is to connect with you lot. And you make it feel unsolvable and impossible to navigate where you either don't care or don't show that you care. Either way, it makes me feel inhuman, and that's a hell of a thing to make someone feel just for trying to be your friend.
It's not as deep as that. Have you ever considered that maybe some people just don't want to be as close to you as you do to them?
And why do I have to attack you and start arguments with you just for you to admit something like that? Why does it feel like it takes a fucking war just to get you to say you don't want to be friends?
Oh, I'm so glad we are all friends, Colin.
Yes, it's great, isn't it? All of us being brilliant friends.
It's truly something special.
Thanks, guys. I love being friends with you all too.
And the best part is how much we all care about each other, and how we'd always invite you to things no matter what.
And always respect you, and your time.
Not to mention, never taking you for granted.
And I to you. There's no expiration date on this friendship. We're so connected.
The game skips forward to round 23, and the only person left besides us is Sophie.
Shit. Oh, I don't really know what to do now. And I'm stuck with someone who can't even talk back. No offense.
Hey.
While by far not the most effective or even unique scare, this one probably got me the most when I first experienced it. Yeah, the directional knocking is cheap and very overplayed, but you cannot lie that the fake Steam DMs are incredibly effective for building tension and getting under your skin. Now, I did censor the names, but these are all people on my friends list, some of whom I haven't talked to in years. Suddenly seeing them popping up again and fucking with you while you're witnessing someone's emotional breakdown is really damn effective. And then once the game has you thinking it's over, once it spits you back out into the regular game, it gives you a few seconds of peace before hard crashing to desktop and then playing the knocking sound effects. I know it's a cheap and not necessarily innovative tactic to scare people with, but the entire setup is so expertly crafted that it might be the best directional knocking scare I've ever experienced. But you know how it is with these games and pretending to be over. There's still so many questions left unanswered, so let's dive back in. Well, I guess we're keeping the creepy atmosphere going, huh? Also, just saying, I love how the desktop still shows up through the game's menu, almost like the game has taken control over your PC entirely. It's a lovely detail. Well, I guess there's nothing much we can do here, but just try to find another game? Here goes nothing.
this your place then? Well, I assume it doesn't look exactly like this, but still. Very individual.
Before you ask, yes. These are in fact all people on my Steam friends list. Some of them I know very well and hold very close to my heart. Others I used to spend a lot of time with, but haven't talked to them again in what feels like forever. And a few of them are people that I've only met a single time, for whatever reason, and I never saw again. But I remember almost all of them. These are all people who I've shared memories with, no matter how small or large they may be. They're all people I've interacted with in some way, shape, or form online. Actually, I think Sophie says it best.
It's easy to forget how everyone playing online is like a real person. Maybe that sounds silly, obviously they are, but someone with hopes and dreams and fears and a room. Just that, just a room they play games in. You never know what's happening in anyone else's. Not really. Everyone has a gallery to be made of them. Even the people who don't say a word.
Maybe that's why people find it so much easier to be shitty over the internet. You can even be accidentally cruel online because there's that level of disconnect there. You don't know what's going on in their room. I guess that's true of real life too. That's the thing. We're all individuals. Not just him. Colin? Are you there? Colin!
What?
I want to show you something.
I don't need to see anything.
It's important. This is my room.
It's a normal room.
It is, yeah.
Fitting, since you're like everyone else.
Ha! You don't know a thing about me. We've hardly had a conversation.
Don't I? When it comes down to it, you were on their side.
You see that leaflet on the wall? The theatre one?
Yeah.
I got rejected from that place. For a community play. I didn't even know you could be rejected from a community play.
What's your point?
Also, my carpet has a massive burn mark because I accidentally left the hairdryer on the floor.
Okay.
Which doesn't help with this next fun fact about me. That pill bottle over there? I take one of those every single day for OCD. 100 milligrams of sertraline. Give me the night sweats like mad, but do help.
Right.
And I love that band on the wall. And I hate slow walkers. And I feel mixed on pairs. And
Okay. I don't know you.
That's my point. No one knows anyone. They didn't think they were hurting you as much as they did. But you don't know what they have going on either. No one knows anyone. And that's beautiful. But also terrifying.
So that makes it okay they hurt me, does it?
No, it doesn't. And I'm sorry they did that. But it's not worth fighting them over.
What do you expect me to do?
Accept that they're human beings. Accept that everyone has their reasons for acting a certain flawed way. But that doesn't mean you have to stay friends. You said yourself that it feels like you're in a war, and maybe sometimes that's what it takes. Maybe sometimes you need that. But you can let it go now.
It hurts.
I know.
I don't know if I can.
Is it over?
I think so.
What happened to Colin?
He left.
Yeah, he did.
But like, what was all that stuff?
We should probably report it to... well, to someone.
We should probably just forget about it.
I think it was shown us what needed to be shown. For the best, I think.
Maybe.
What do we do now?
Another game?
Shut up.
It Takes a War is simply phenomenal. It is one of the most unique games I've ever played, and tells a story that is incredibly touching on so many levels. Of course, it's not perfect, and there are stories that resonated a lot more with me on a personal level, but I cannot deny that the themes that It Takes a War touches on are thoroughly unexplored territory, especially for games. I've mentioned it before, but I can relate to Colin and the pain he feels a lot. For a while, I was always the outcast in any friend group that I joined. I could never quite fit in the way that the others could, and it felt like a constant struggle to even be recognized amongst the people I called friends back then. I tried to relativize my situation, tried to change myself to be more like them, all in an attempt to simply fit into a group that ultimately didn't want me. And that fucking hurts, man. Being unwanted is one of the worst feelings that you could possibly feel. Eventually, leaving those groups took a lot of effort and required a large amount of mental fortitude, as things like this always do. Colin struggled for seemingly a long time with being unwanted. The backstory that we can only get glimpses of through the conversations of the group is likely leading back to months, weeks, maybe even years of rejection. Colin could never actually fit into this group, even though he always wanted to do so. And that tension is the reason why it all came crashing down. Not just like a figurative, but a literal meteor that we can see in the sky and also in the two cutscenes. That meteor is always approaching. However, you will never know how long it takes until it actually collides with you and fractures you from a group of people that you cared about once. Colin cared about these people way more than they cared about him, and realizing something like this, that you have been in the group that never actually wanted you, is really, really painful. But this situation that I just described is exactly where the full title of the game comes from. It takes a war to say farewell. The internet has been nothing short of revolutionary for enabling social interaction between people. The rise of online hubs such as chat rooms, forums, or multiplayer games has given us all the opportunity to find like-minded people and made connecting with people easier than ever before. As cliche as it sounds, your new best friend could just be a few clicks away. But reality is a lot more complicated and, in most cases, a lot darker than that. Because what the internet gave us in terms of communicative abilities, it also took from us in terms of true human connection. We are the most connected that we've been in human history, but also more hostile towards each other than ever before. The causes for this phenomenon are vast. So vast that it would completely break the scope of this video, and honestly, I really don't want to talk about that kind of stuff in my videos anyway. I don't need to be the one to remind you that the world is full of awful people doing awful things to each other. You get involuntarily reminded of that every single day. Instead, I want to talk about something that happened to me recently. Something that fits perfectly within the narrative concepts that It Takes a War touches on. In October of this year, I attended TwitchCon 2025, the largest convention I've ever been to, and also my first ever trip to California. Now, I've been to the States before this trip, but never to the West Coast, and so this was quite a big deal for me. Easily the longest time traveling that I've ever spent, and the convention itself was incredibly impressive. But if I'm being honest, I didn't really care all that much about the convention, nor about the place I was going to. I cared about the people that I attended the convention with. This friend group is the only one that I've ever felt truly connected with in my whole life. I met them randomly in a Discord server of a fellow YouTuber that we all enjoyed watching, and over the years, this random assortment of people who all like the same guy transformed into a tight-knit, deeply personal group of friends. This is the group that I've shared almost a fifth of my life with, as crazy as that sounds, especially because prior to this meeting, I've never actually seen most of their faces before. The week of TwitchCon 2025 marked the week where I'd finally see all of them in real life for the first time ever, and actually got to see and shake hands with the people who I care about most in life. That week was one of the best weeks of my entire life. It was an unforgettable experience from start to finish. I've connected even deeper with some of them, while I got a whole new appreciation for other people who I haven't really interacted with that much before. All in all, this trip brought us all closer together and reinforced our friendship for the years to come. But there is something else that I realized. Something that It Takes a War starkly reminded me of. All these people whom I now call my deepest and dearest friends originally looked like this. A list of names and pictures on a chat platform. Something that looks so incredibly simple, but something that in reality is anything but. All of these names, all these pictures belong to real people. People who have their own living conditions, their own rooms, their own jobs, hobbies, and interests. But also their own struggles, their own demons that they fight with day in and day out. Demons that I will probably never see. No matter what color that little icon next to their profile picture may say, you will most likely never know what's going on behind their screen. For everyone who watched this video to the end, I want you to do something. Next time you look at your friends list on Steam, the members list of a Discord server you frequent, or the people in real life whom you call your friends, I want you to think about those people, beyond their names and online avatars. Even if you continue to not interact with them and simply coexist, think about how well you know them, what memories you associate with them, no matter how positive or negative they are, because it really doesn't take a lot to tell someone you care about them, but it takes a war to say farewell to them.